So my name is Zubb. I'm a comic book creator living here in Toronto, Canada.
Hi, my name is Marcus Toe. I'm a penciler and inker for the all-new Guardians of the Galaxy.
My name is Bobby Chiu, and I'm the founder of Schoolism, online learning, and Imaginism Studios.
I'm Thomas Heermann. I'm a senior director at Autodesk, and I'm working in the media entertainment division and be responsible for products like Sketchbook.
Hi, I'm Stanley Lau. Most of the people know me as ArtGerm. I'm from Singapore. I'm a character designer, illustrator, digital artist, and a teacher.
My background is really in animation, so I trained as an animator, classical style 2D animation, and that taught me a lot about drawing quickly, telling stories really expediently, and building up emotional storytelling. And from there, I was able to sort of sidestep into both storyboarding, short film, and eventually starting to write my own stories and collaborating with really great art teams. And so that just gave me a really good grounding in storytelling as a whole, but also, really strong art and presentation. I've been a lifelong comic book fan, and so getting the chance to finally create my own comics has been a real dream come true.
I got started in the comics like most people, we grew up loving these characters, drawing them, when we should really be studying. I've been working on professionally for the last 14 years. I started at Aspen Comics, a small publisher out in LA. I moved up to DC Comics where I worked on Red Robin, and then now I moved on to all new Guardians of the Galaxy with Marvel. I've also done work with Japanese properties such as Cyborg 009. I've worked with Alyssa Milano on her property Hacktivist, and lots of different random things from video games to comic books to movies.
With art, I started working when I was 17, doing toy design for Disney toys, Pixar toys, Star Wars toys, things like that. And that's what got me interested in the movie industry. Schoolism got started because I graduated, couldn't get a good job. And I knew my skills didn't look like the skills I saw on MySpace back then. So then I contacted artists that I really liked, and on a trip to San Diego Comic-Con, I asked one of them, Steven Silver, to teach online. And I would, of course, watch the lessons, do the assignments, make sure it's good. And then I learned from him, and then I asked another person, and now we have like 20 some odd teachers, my favorite artists, in the world, and I get to learn for free. So that's how it all kind of started. It didn't come from like, oh, this is a good business idea. It came from, I want to learn what these guys are learning.
So I started my career working in the crossover between technology and design. So I always worked in product management. My first job was in automotive industrial design. I started in Germany in mid-80s and then moved to Canada about 10 years ago. Started with Alias, worked on the Alias products, then Sketchbook. Did a little bit of consumer outreach with the Autodesk consumer group. Really learned behaviors and of a mass market, and now to see how our technology we have can be applied for a far bigger audience than just the commercial users. It's a great experience to really translate technologies into simpler things that enable far more users to play with technology than ever before.
Since young, I love to draw a lot. I was inspired by manga, anime stuff. So I always want to be an artist since very young. So when I got older, I got approval from my parents just to learn art. I think one of the most iconic stuff that I've ever done was working with Street Fighter. Yeah, I grew up with Street Fighter. I skipped classes just to go to arcade and play Street Fighter. So when I got the chance to work with Capcom for Street Fighter games, I was really excited. Yeah.
when you're working with an art team, any kind of creative project, but in this case comic books, it's a creative collaboration. It's not just about one person getting their way, it's about all of us wanting to be proud of what we're putting on the page. So working with other artists, working with a colorist, or working with a designer, you want to put your stamp on it, but also make sure that everyone else is bringing their strengths. So as much as possible, I try and communicate with the artists I'm working with all the team members, and make them feel invested in the project. What can what kind of things do you want to draw? What kind of things do you want to bring into it that you're going to be proud of? And so rather than it just being one person's vision, I think it's all of our vision. There's a reason why there's multiple names on the cover there, because we've all got stake in the final process. So when I'm working with Jabril on Glitter Bomb, he's got this really wonderful kind of noir sensibility to his artwork, and we talk back and forth about what are the characters going to look like, how are these locations going to be, and how can we make the story as visceral as possible.
You have to know your basics. You know how to illustrate, you know how the trade works for you. And then of course, from being at Autodesk is start experimenting with technologies too. Because often technology enables you to do things completely different. Like in the past, like with 2D sketching, you're drawing on your canvas. With VR now, you're stepping into your canvas. So you're part of your creation itself as well. So which allows you to not just make a piece of art, you make an experience and you're part of it as well. So these two things are super important. But of course, as an artist, you want to be seen and discovered as well. So constantly network, connect with peers, connect with the industry, connect with people you adore and like, and you want to follow them as well. So really make yourself heard, see what's going on, and connect as often as you can.
Nowadays, most artists, students, they have great technical skills, a lot better than when I was in school, but now everybody has good technical skills. So first thing you need to do is get the good technical skills, then you need to be special somehow. Like if you want to do what I'm doing, it's a creative environment, you have to come up with good creative ideas. So maybe not have your whole entire portfolio fan art. You know, you want to show what your actual original ideas are. I think that's what maybe we can use a lot more of these days.
You know, just love the process. I mean, it sounds kind of hokey and stuff, but you gotta love what you do, right? And if you love sitting there and drawing and figuring things out, everything else will kind of come into play, because you know, you still go back to the thing you love, and that's sitting at the desk and creating art.
I would say you need to be really clear about what you are trying to sell yourself as artist. So when people look at your portfolio, for the first 3 to 5 pages, you need to define yourself. Whether you're a character designer, character artist, or so-called mechanical designers, yeah, that's important, because that's how you leave the first impression.
If you want to get into comic books, as much as you can read tutorials and you can look at what other people are doing, you kind of need to dive in with both feet and start telling stories in a graphic format. Like anything, at first it's going to take you a little while to get used to it and to build up your skills. And the fastest way to do that is to do little short stories. Just come up with a concept that can be delivered in 3 or 6 or 10 pages and see if you can make an effective story from start to finish. Sometimes I'll talk to people and they want to start off with a huge epic. I've had this idea since I was a kid and I want to do a 100-page graphic novel. And the reality is, if you've never done this before, it's like trying to run a marathon after you just bought running shoes. You got to train, you got to build up your skills and build up your stamina and understand the medium before you go for a larger project.
You know, to get to that level that we want to get to, it's kind of like a rocket ship going into outer space. It takes so much energy, so much intensity to get that career to that level where then you kind of made it. So gather that intensity inside and really like get charged up and push through, because once you get to a certain point, it'll get much easier. Then you just and then you don't have that much effort and you can navigate much easier. In the beginning, get ready for some work.
ArtStation is one of the most phenomenal art communities I've ever seen, and the quality of work on the whole really blew my mind. So it was fantastic to start seeing such quality artwork from so many different illustrators and designers and animators all in one place. When I was looking for people to collaborate with, cover artists or designers, it was just a phenomenal catalog for me to be able to pour through. Each person's got, you know, their own setup, but then it's kind of this wonderful bottomless well. You're finding one person's work and that leads you to another person's work based on what kind of style and sensibility that they have. Easily, like, it's all very easily organized. The galleries are really well laid out, and on the whole, I've just found that the professional look and interface makes it easy to find what I want. I get to communicate with the artist very quickly, get a sense of what their schedule and budget is like, and get them on my schedule and start making great projects together.